Most of you will be familiar by now with the concept of styled objects, but if you're not, I'm just going to briefly talk about styled objects because they're really something you need to understand to get the most out of Vectorworks, and particularly reference markers, section lines, drawing references, and so on. What we've got here is a simple table and chairs object, and if we look at it in the object info palette, we can see that all of the attributes of this object are grayed out. And you can see up here in the style menu that it's saying that it is a styled object. And a styled object is a bit like a symbol in that you have one definition and then you have instances of the symbol, and a styled object is a bit like that with one major exception. And let's look at what that is. If we click here in the object info palette and choose edit style, here we're able to make some changes to the styled object. And if we said, okay, we want to change this chair's style to a cafe type of chair. When I click OK, you'll see it's going to change on all of those objects because they're all being driven by the style. Now let's go back in there again, and this time click the plugin style instance settings. And sometimes you'll access this in a dialog like that, other times it will be in a separate dialog. But the concept is the same, and these little arrows here indicate that all of these attributes of the stair objects are all being controlled by the style. So if I wanted, for example, to be able to individually set the chair type, then I could click here and change this little icon here, and now I'll be able to change the type of chair separately from in each instance of this, but everything else will still be controlled by the style. And this is where it differs from a symbol, because a symbol definition is one definition. You can't exempt something in a symbol definition from populating out into all of the symbol instances. So just with the chair type, I've now switched that to being by instance. When I click OK and OK, you'll see that this option now becomes available in the object info palette. So I can change this to a different style in each of these instances. But that's the only thing that I can change. Everything else is still being controlled by the style. And you know, the styled object, the concept of styled objects is used in so many different areas. You know, for example, the title block border, which most people would be familiar with, uses the concept of styles, with some settings being controlled by the style and other ones being individual for the title block. You know, for example, the drawing number has to be different in each title block, but the project information is going to be the same in each title block. So the project information you would have controlled by the style, and the drawing information you would have controlled per instance. The next topic that I briefly want to talk about are data tags. The data tags can be found in the DIMS Notes toolset, and they look like this here. And in this drawing here, I have got a hardscape object, which is in a path format. I have got a space object, and I've got a plant object. Now, these three objects have tags that are built into them that you can use, but you can also independently place data tag objects on these objects. Let's have a look at how you would do that. So if we take the data tag tool and we come up to the active tag definition, you'll see that in Vectorworks libraries under data tag, we've got quite a few different files here. Now let's start with the hardscape. So we'll click on hardscape, and there's a few different ones here. I've already actually got one in this drawing. You'll see who it is here, this one. So I'm just going to click on that, and this hardscape needs to be associated with an object, and by default you can see this data tag with a little chain link on it. So it means it needs to be attached to an object. Not all data tags need that, but the ones with this mode do. And this option here controls whether you click first to place the tag and then click on the object, or whether you click on the object first and then place the tag. So I'll show both of these so you know. So the first one is going to be clicking away from the object to place the tag, and then you'll see the hardscape selects when I hover over it and I do my second click, and I get this information. Now this tag is dynamic, so if I change any aspect of this path, so if I made this smaller, then these numbers are going to change. If I move the object, then depending on the way the tag is set up, either the tag will just stay stationary and the arrow will move, or there's an option to move the whole tag with the object. And if I delete the object, then the tag will also delete, and I'll demonstrate that deleting, and even though I didn't have the tag selected, it deleted as well. So the tag is dynamic. Let's look at one for the space object. So again, this time we'd go data tag, and you'd click here and you'd come down to space and choose one of the space tags. Now I'd already selected one of those, so coming up here, this is the tag here. So let's go with that one. I'll select that. And with this one, you can see that there isn't it isn't requiring me to create a leader line. It just wants to click inside the space object. So when I do that, it's going to pick up the attributes of the space object, depending on which ones the tag is set up. And this one is set up to pick up the room name. The room name, which you'll see up here, is bedroom, the room number, 1, 2, 3, and also the dimensions of the room, 6 by 4 meters roughly. And just to finally demonstrate one with the with a plant, so we'd come down here, we'd find plant, and you'll see a series of tags in there. Now these are just starting tags that you can use, but typically you will eventually develop your own style of tag. So here we'll go with the plant, which is just quantity and Latin name, and we'll go with that. And this one is set up as the first one was, so we click to place the tag, and then we click on the object. And again, this is dynamic, so if I change that plant spacing to say 1200, then the number of plants is going to reduce from 9 down to 6. Now the other interesting thing about tags is that if I had a number of plants or hardscapes or space objects or whatever in the drawing, and let's just duplicate this, so we've got a few of them here, I can label these all at once. So let's just jump back to the tool again. We've still got the plant tag selected, and this third option here called select eligible objects mode, when I click on that and hover over the drawing, you'll see all of the plant objects became selected. So if I click on one object, then all of them are going to get a label, and the attributes of that label and the angle that those labels will appear at are all controlled by the style of the tag. And let's have a look at that now, and I'll explain a bit about tag styles, and we'll come back and redo that after I've redefined these. So if you select any of these tags, you'll see that they have a style just like the table and chair objects did, and we can edit the style in a number of ways. You can choose edit style from here, or you can right click on the style and choose edit plugin style. So here are the attributes for the leader line, and they're all controlled by the style. And if there's a marker, so this style doesn't have a marker at the end. If you wanted it to have an arrow at the end, then you could turn that on. Horizontal position, you can control there. Move the leader line with the object, move the entire tag with the object. I mentioned that before. The default shoulder line length is this length here. So if you wanted that a bit bigger, we could set that to 10. And display, auto placement. So with auto placement, you can set the leader angle. So if we set that to 45 degrees, I think that would be a preferred one. Let's go with those changes, and you'll see there were some changes then, but I'm going to delete those tags and place them again now that I've made those minor changes to the style. Let's go back to the data tag tool, and we're still in the same mode, and click once on here, and you'll see we'll get the tags. Now they've got the arrow, now they've got 10 millimeters here, now they're at 45 degrees. So that's just a very brief view of how tags work. I will mention that there are other kinds of tags that don't have to be related to objects. So if we jump in here again and just were to look at a data stamp, for example, if we place one of these in the drawing, it's just going to display the things that are there, which is, you know, the file name and the date. And if this were to be regenerated and I opened the file tomorrow and I reset it, then the date would obviously update. You know, you can get layer scale, you can get the layer name, you can get classes, you can get all sorts of information, you can get areas, all sorts of things from tags. So how do you control what you're actually seeing in the text here? So if you double click on a tag, you get the option to edit the tag layout. And this is the important thing, because this allows you to completely customize how the tag looks and how it behaves, what it reports. So let's go ahead. It's saying, yes, this tag is by style, so if you edit it, it's going to affect all instances of this particular tag. So let's jump in there and have a look. And what we have is name, main area, and border area, and a line. Very, very simple. But you might say, no, look, I'd rather have some kind of rectangle around here. So you could draw that in. I'll just put this in here just to show the change. Send that to the back. Now, the important thing here is to look down. This looks like a normal text block, except at the bottom it has this extra field here. Use dynamic text, and that means that the text is going to be connected to an object. Define the tag field. Now, this is where it gets a little bit technical, but it's not too bad. So the hardscape, we choose the type of object, so it's a hardscape. What's the parameter that we want to populate in there? And so we've got the main area, we've got joint patterns, we've got all sorts of choices in there. And the choices would be completely different for the space object or for any other kind of object. I'm not going to change that, but once you get here what you want, and currently it's using the document units, but you can set independently what units you want to display the area in. And I think in this document the units would be set to meters already. But if I was displaying a length, for example, I could choose the document units and display that length in meters, millimeters, centimeters, kilometers, whatever I wanted to, independently of what the document is set to. But once you have this set up how you want it, what you do is you delete the text from there, and you click this Add to Definition, and it puts in the units that you expect to see up here. And in fact, the main area I would want in square meters, so I'm going to redo that. Let's delete that and do that again. And it's added this little extra bit here, which is defining the units and also how many decimal points there are. It's also possible to have manually entered text in a data tag. So you might have some things that automatically come from the object, but you might have a note or something like that. You can use that. This is not an extensive explanation of tags, but just to give you an idea of how you can access this kind of stuff. And just while we're here, you can also pull information into a tag from a record, from an IFC. There are object functions, and I mentioned these before. And so you can pull the area of objects. You can get the bounding box, the center, the class description, the insertion point, the surface area, the symbol name. You can pull all of this stuff out into a tag object. If we look at general functions, you've got file name, date, timestamp, scale, sheet name, and those other fields there. And you can also have incrementing values where you're just clicking on objects and they're going to number 1, 2, 3, 4 or A, B, C, D or whatever. So lots of possibilities for using tags and for customizing the appearance of the tag. So you see now when we come out, this has the altered appearance of the changes with the changes that we just made. One other important thing to note about data tags is how they behave in viewport annotations. So you can optionally place tags on a design layer, but you can also place them in a viewport annotation. So let's go ahead and create a viewport. And you'll note now that in Vectorworks 2021 that the drawing labels are also now styled objects that are controlled in the way that I've been describing. And we'll look at that a little bit more in a sec. So if we go now to the data tag tool and let's grab, say, the hardscape one, I can place this in the viewport. And if I go back to the design layer and I move this or I change its area or size, then jump back to the viewport annotation, this is going to automatically have updated. Let's just go into the annotation again and show you this with the space label. So again, I could do that, or if I had a whole building, I could go to this mode here and one click would place a space label on every space that was visible in the drawing. And again, if we go back and choose the plant label, we're in this third mode here, so again one click is going to put those labels on there. Let's just jump back to here and let's say I delete this plant. You'll see that not only has the plant gone from the viewport, so has the data tag. So there's a lot of flexibility there in how they work. So just pulling all this together now, let's have a look at a couple of reference markers and section lines and see how these work with the new 2021 behavior. What I'm going to do is to create a section viewport, which will create a section line and also a drawing label. And we'll do that the normal way, create section viewport. We'll just draw a line through here and look up the page. Now here you can choose the drawing label, and there are a number of different styles that you can choose from in Vectorworks Libraries Object Styles Drawing Label. But if you have created your own and you have someone in a user library, and I'll show you how you would do that, then you could pick one from here to use. Alternatively, you could save any style that you commonly used in the document itself, in which case you could come up to the document and there would be a drawing label there with your customized or preferred style. So we'll just go with that, which is one of the standard ones. I'll click select for that. And we also have the same thing to choose for the section and elevation markers. And again, I've chosen one out of the standard set here, which is this one, and we'll just go with that. And I'm just going to click OK. And we've got our section. Now let's look at the drawing label to start with. So if I double click on this and go into the annotations, I can access this drawing label. And if we look at this, you can see that this is a styled object. And we know what styled objects are. And if you want to edit the style, you can choose Edit Style from there, or you can right click on the object in the drawing. So if we go Edit Style, we've got our plugin instance settings, which of these things are by instance, which are by style. And we've also got the ability to set up the values and so forth. Now what I particularly wanted to show was the edit drawing label layout. And again, if we look at these, you're going to see that they use dynamic text, which we talked about before. And if we click Define Drawing Label Text Field, here you've just got a limited set because this is just one type of object, which is a drawing label. So you've just got a limited set of things to choose from, but that's how you can set the text that's going to be used. So that one is the drawing title. This one is obviously going to be the scale, and this will be the drawing number. Now, all of this is editable. You've also got controls over the constraint distance. You can see these little markers in here, and they are indicating that this text is going to be constrained within those boundaries. If I turn those off, you'll see those little dimensions disappear. And so we'll leave those on. And you can change this into a square or get rid of it or do whatever you need to do to this layout. And let's say, for argument's sake, that you wanted this line to be a bit longer and you wanted this to have a yellow fill for some reason. So we'll click out of there and click OK. So we now have this custom drawing title or drawing label. And I haven't given it a title yet, but that's all works just up here because all of those values are by instance, so that's all fairly easy. But this custom styled object is going to be in this file. So if we jump up to Untitled 1 and we look at the drawing label styles, you're going to see our style in here. And if you want then to save this out, you can either just copy and paste an instance of this into a file, or we can go export. And we can choose to export it really anywhere you like, but the common place would be to the user folder, object styles, and drawing label. And even though there's not a file in here now, Vectorworks will create an empty file in here to store these library items for you. When I click OK, that's what will happen. And I'll show you now that if we export again and we go to user folder, object styles, you'll see there's now a little arrow here, and Vectorworks has created this file for you and put the exported drawing label in there. And if you're going to create a few of these labels for different scenarios, then they would all go into that file. And you also have this recent export files, and that's also the file is going to be listed up there, which makes it a bit easier to get to if you're doing, preparing a few of these for future projects. Now let's take a look at the section marker. So we'll jump back to the design layer, and we've got the section marker here. Now this behaves in exactly the same way. So this is a styled object. So we can go to edit style, and we have the same kinds of settings. You've got a few, depending on the kind of marker it is, there'll be different settings, but we've got the usual plugin instance settings here, which you understand. And we can edit the marker layout, and here you can, you might not want to have the sheet number, so you could get rid of that. You could get rid of that line, you could pull this down into the middle, do whatever you need to do, and jump back out into the drawing. And again, now that you've created this custom label, if we look here, you're going to see section, elevation, line styles, and here it is here. Export user folder. That would be there. Click OK. And if we just quickly have a look there again, you'll see that it's created this file here, which you'll see in the recent files up there, but you'll also, if we drill down in here, you'll see it's created that as well. Now, if you want to go out to your user folder and rename this with your company name, that's fine, or you can just leave that default name there as well. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of how to manage these new reference markers and so on in the drawing, and also a bit of an understanding of how data tags and styled objects work.